Fourth World. The old gods of the First World were an ancient race whose destruction led the way for the gods of Earth and the other planets, as well as the fourth worlds of Apokolips and New Genesis. Around 18 billion years ago, the old gods originated from God World, also known as Asgard or Urgard, during the First World. After 3 billion years later, the First World slowly segued into the Second World, as the humanoid life forms on God World attained godhood, thus becoming the old gods, in which they achieved a peak of immense power and ushered in a golden age of cultural and scientific advancement. After 10 billion years of the Golden Age, God World fell into war. At the heart of the conflict was Loki, who was a god of mischief and ultimately became the first god of evil. And this was a conflict between him and the chief god Wotan. The conflict became the forces of good and evil and escalated into Ragnarok, when the gods saw the world being torn asunder in a great explosion, where all the gods perished. The energy unleashed from the explosion of God World spread across the universe, generating what would be later known as the God Wave, which seeded worlds with potential for eventually bringing forth gods of their own. Planets such as Earth would produce such gods 35,000 years ago, and this was the beginning of the Third World. The remnants of God World would eventually separate into two distinct planets, Apokolips and New Genesis. The citizens of each planet would mirror the old gods, but would be split on the terms of moral alignment. New Genesis became dedicated to peace and goodness, and Apokolips developed into a cruel, warlike culture. The Fourth World began when these new gods attained godhood, and repeated the history of the old gods as New Genesis and Apokolips waged war against each other, causing the hostilities that remain to this day.